Good morning and welcome to the webinar this morning. The first thing I want to do is apologize that this is a recorded webinar again. It was my intent to do this live. I enjoy being live with the audience, but as you're watching this, Deanna and I are traveling to South Carolina to have a meeting tonight and then to kick off the Facebook Live trainings on the East Coast. And so, unfortunately, you get us on a recording. This is a particularly important webinar today, as once again there's been a lot of commotion and confusion and interest in LuLaRoe, and a lot of people taking things out of context and not understanding who we are and what our intentions are. And why we do the things that we do. So I'm going to try and be a little bit more candid and lead you through some of the decisions that are made and some of the reasons for those. But I also want you to understand that there are several things that have taken place here, and while they're related, they're not the same. And so we have the issue of Bobby B and his video. We have an issue of compliance in general. We have another issue regarding our relationship with NDSS. And we have some issues around how the public perceives us and who we are. And so we're going to talk about each one of those individually. And I apologize if I go a little bit long here, but I really want to put some information out there that you can use as you build your business. Now, let's start with the first and most obvious, and that's Bobby B and his video. After talking to him after the initial flurry, we had a feeling that he was repentant, that he felt bad for what he had done, and that he understood how that had affected the community, and that he was committed to not having that kind of behavior in the future. And based on that apology, and on our discussions with him, we felt that it was appropriate to just move forward and use this as a learning opportunity. Now, unfortunately, Bobby went back on and did some other posts that created even more controversy inside the community. Now, as the CEO of the company, I recognize that one of my responsibilities is not just to administer the affairs of the company in accordance with my opinions, but it's to listen to and take feedback from all of the stakeholders. And I want to commend you this time. We got a little bit of hate, but we got a whole lot of thoughtful and respectful commentary. And because of that thoughtful and respectful commentary, we had to pay attention, because I have to respect those of you whose businesses have been affected. And so I want to start, first of all, with a sincere apology and I want you to know that we do not condone, nor do we stand behind, nor do we accept the behavior that Bobby exhibited. This behavior was unacceptable. It's indefensible. But for me, it's not unforgivable. And so, as of now, Bobby and Taya have been suspended. They are not going to be eligible to attend the cruise, and they're on a 30-day suspension of all of their business activities with LuLaRoe. Now, the purpose of that suspension isn't just punishment, but he has been challenged to give thought to what his position is in LuLaRoe and to how his actions affect the community, and to think about when that suspension is up, how does he re-enter the community, and how does he earn back your trust? And so we will watch and see how these things develop. But I also want you to know that this decision is made independently of anything else that took place. This decision is based on feedback from the community, on interactions between a single retailer and the community, and what we feel will serve both of the community and the retailer's needs to the best of our ability. Now, one thing that I will tell you is I'm not sure that's the right thing, but it's the most right thing I know how to do right now. And so we are continuing to look for ways to serve the entire community. Now, let's talk about compliance in general. Many people have accused us of playing favorites with those people who are our big sellers, who are top sellers. I will tell you right now, I still don't know how much Bobby and his wife sell. I have no idea what they sell. That was not the question I asked. When this was brought to my attention, I asked two questions. Number one, do they do this full time? Is this the sole source of income for their family? And number two, is he repentant? And when I received the answers to those questions, that was what drove my decision to allow them to continue as retailers. But again, due to subsequent posts, we've now put a little bit of disciplinary action into place, and hoping that that will help him to be a little introspective about the things that he says and does and how that affects the lives of other people. For those of you who were hurt by his video, we apologize for that. As a company, we're sorry for the pain that that may have caused you. And we will continue to work on our community to make sure that we love and support one another. But I want you to be very, very clear that when it comes to administering compliance with policies and procedures, that we are always driven by a single philosophy, and that is assume innocence. I've had many people tell me, oh, other people were thrown out for a minor infraction. I'm here to tell you nobody has been removed from this company for a minor infraction. If somebody has been suspended or has been removed, it's because of multiple infractions. It's because of repeated discussions with compliance and their failure to align with the community after being given many chances. I can't guarantee that everybody will get it right away, but what we're looking for is, what was their intent? Somebody who deliberately goes against policies and procedures with an attitude of, I can do whatever I want. My answer to that is, yes, you can, but you can't do it here. But for people who say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize, and yes, I only want to do what works best for the company, they're given opportunities to come back in and to realign with the community. As we talk about how do you deal with somebody who's not fully aligned with the community, I believe in education and room to realign. So with that being said, let me talk about NDSS for a moment. NDSS is a wonderful organization that has accomplished an incredible amount of good in their mission statement of bringing awareness and opportunity to those individuals who have Down syndrome. And I applaud them for the work that they've done. And in fact, the work that they do is very near and dear to Deanne and I, and we're thrilled to watch and see them bring sensitivity and awareness and opportunities to those individuals who have Down syndrome. But having said that, their mission is very narrowly focused on individuals with Down syndrome. As a company, our mission is focused on everybody. We believe that not only should there be an opportunity for people with Down syndrome, but there ought to be an opportunity for everybody to have room to be accepted, to have room to grow, to become a better version of themselves, to have educational opportunities, all of these things. And so, because of their narrow alignment with just the Down syndrome community, we realized that we weren't going to be able to continue to have a formal arrangement with them. They had asked us to either terminate our ties with our retailer or that terminate ties with them. And unfortunately, we felt that in order to serve the greater good, in order to serve with love and kindness and opportunity for everyone, that we would go ahead and sever our ties with them. Please understand that this in no way means that we're going to quit contributing to organizations that stand up for the rights of individuals, whether they be individuals with challenges or whether they be individuals that stand up for Down syndrome specifically. But we will also, as we have always done, look for opportunities to serve others who also are in need. And so we are no longer aligned strictly with NDSS. However, we are aligned with philanthropy. We continue to encourage you as individual retailers to do fundraisers, which you've done so well. Over $2 million was raised by you last year, and another $2 million which we matched. And so that's who we I've heard many retailers send me emails and say, I have customers who say they refuse to do business with a company like LuLaRoe. Now, let me just say this. What do they think it means when they say a company like LuLaRoe? And what does it mean to you when they say a company like LuLaRoe? You know, we have a PR website. It's pr.lularoe.com, full of stories that are all the good stories, all the feel-good stories about our business. If you're not sharing those stories, then you're not doing your job. This is an opportunity to tell people who we are. If we don't tell our story, other people will. Guess what, guys? Think about how many live events have probably taken place, and I don't have a way to count them exactly, but I know how many pieces of clothing have been sold, and I know what the average sale per event is, and I'm here to tell you there have been hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of individual live events. And over the course of those, there have been 2 that have had somebody do something offensive enough that it rises to the level that the community takes notice. 2 out of hundreds of thousands, possibly millions. So don't let people focus on those. Start telling the story of who LuLaRoe is and what it stands for. Start telling the story of acceptance, of love, of support, of service, of giving back to the community. Start telling the good stories to each other. Jump onto that PR blog and pull things down and repost them and share them with each other. And as you hear good stories in your group, don't share them just back and forth among 3 or 4 of you. Put them out there so that the public can see what LuLaRoe does. You should be so proud of yourselves for the wonderful work that's done. Along with all of the emails we got over the last few days, there were hundreds of emails thanking us for the work that's been done and expressing gratitude for the community, for the support and the sisterhood that you all feel for one another. We're proud and to be just a small part of that. We're humbled by your commitment and your love and your ability to serve one another. Don't let the small negatives derail the wonderful work that's being done at LuLaRoe. As you go forward, share who you are. The people who say, I don't want to do business with a company like LuLaRoe, sit down tonight and write down a list of what you think a company like LuLaRoe is. And when they say that, ask them the question, do you mean you don't want to do business with a company that provides comfortable clothing for women who have had bad body image issues, that provides wonderful clothing for people who have sensitivity issues, for a company that encourages women to be strong and independent? You don't want to be associated with a company that teaches people to serve one another. You don't want to be associated with a company whose guiding philosophy is to assume innocence. I think that if people know us, they'll want to be associated with us. And if they don't, then they don't fit. And that's okay too. So I think I got on my soapbox. I went a little longer than I intended to. But I want you to know that there's great things coming. We're so excited about the things that we're working on right now. I wish I could share them all with you, but there's things in the wings. That was a little rhyme there. Things coming soon that are going to make it easier and easier for you to do your business. It's going to make it easier and easier for you to be successful as a small entrepreneur. We love you for the work that you do and wish you nothing but the greatest success. And please be bold in sharing why you do LuLaRoe and who this company is, who you are, because you are the company. So thank you very much.